just briefly take you through. So Julie had asked that David and I also work on a project for you guys to complete. I believe it's due right before the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, you guys are coming back for that.
Yes, we're coming back. You'll get to see me again. Tons of Gen time. So I want to start by giving you an understanding of Buick, which is one of General Motors' 4 main car lines. They have a huge partnership with the NCAA. If you've been to Spartan Stadium, you've seen them. If you've been to a football game, you've seen them there too. But their partnership is largely built around March Madness, and they do an immense amount of coordination with the NCAA. And there are some other ancillary ways in which they partner. So they definitely try to reach college fans of college sports and college students. During game days, they do Snapchat filters, which are kind of cute. I'm not a Snapchatter, so it's all foreign to me. And they do a bunch of Twitter stuff, either with the MSU handle or through the Buick handle. So I just wanted to start with that because the project that you guys will be working on is for the brand Buick. And times are changing for Buick. They are actually sunsetting all of their sedans moving into the next model year. And that's a big change for them. They're going from a lineup of 7 SUVs and sedans to just 4 core SUVs. And you'll see here, this is Encore GX and Encore. There are 2 of the nearly identical models that they're trying to differentiate. So your project will be focusing on ways in which we can reach audiences for these 4 main car lines.
Has this been announced to the press? The focus on, or is it not going to be a big announcement? I just want to make sure everybody in here understands that
this is GM confidential, so yes, please don't talk to the reporters. I do believe that this direction has been announced to the press. I think it was part of General Motors has been slowly reducing their dependency on sedans over the past several years. But earlier this year, I want to say around March, they had announced several vehicles that were no longer going to be produced in moving into 2020. So consider this confidential information, but certainly you guys can go to their website for more information. There's a wealth of information there. So what does their 2020 multi-line SUV approach look like? We wanted to provide you with some stats about each of the target audiences for each of the vehicles. You'll see the Enclave is targeting someone older than me. And they're really looking for married individuals with kids. Established families is who they're focusing on there. And they really like travel and quality time. Envision is their sort of mid-size SUV. And you'll see they're in vehicle segments that don't make a ton of sense to me. Now, I didn't write this. This is not my brief. It's from the clients. But to me, the Enclave is more large than mid-size, but whatever. I don't get to write that. So compact SUV, you'll see we provide household income ranges, which is still how briefs are written by clients. They'll provide something like this, and my team is responsible for developing a digital plan that helps to reach these individuals, and that is very similar to the project that you guys will be assigned. So Encore and Encore GX. GX is new for the 2020 lineup, and you'll see they're targeting a wider range of ages, slightly higher household income, and really focusing on the influential consumer that's both has personal and professional successes. Any quick questions on this before I go into the assignment?
You're going to, as you mentioned, you want to go to the website and find out more information about each car line, like the cost of these car lines, because that also helps you understand how they come up with the target, with their household incomes and their how many each car line, how much seating they have. because that goes right in line with if you have kids or not. So I want you to do additional research on each one of these car lines.
So now we're going into the assignment part. So as I mentioned, this is a similar brief that we would get from a client. And the expectation for you guys is to identify ways to reach those unique audiences for each individual Buick SUV, develop targeting recommendations and media partners who can help to reach those target audiences. There will be 4 separate programmatic strategies, obviously, by car line that differentiate targeting as best you can, right? You know, for Enclave, we talked about how it's reaching a family-focused consumer. I wouldn't expect to see a lot of family targeting on the Encore GX version of your presentations. The campaign to drive to Buick.com, which is where all of our media drives to, and really what you're trying to get consumers to do is learn more, engage with the brand, consider how they could fit into their lifestyle. And then Julie put together a list of what every presentation needs to include. So 1 to 2 pages on each SUV nameplate, covering what exactly the objective is that you're going after, who those strategic target audiences are. In the Buick example, you'll see that there are things like they're into travel, or they're into cooking, or they're into you know, family-oriented activities. Use that to help develop your targeting. We're not expecting you to confirm that targeting exists as to what you've developed. So just assume that every targeting that you guys would want would be available, okay? So if you say that you want to target stay-at-home dog lovers, pretend that exists. I don't think it does, though.
Don't be constrained by that part of reality.
Yep. So like we said, the vendors and any devices that you're recommending. So are you recommending an entirely mobile-only plan? And if so, what's your rationale? I don't want you to think that anything is wrong here. These are all going to be fantastic ideas, I'm sure. And then really, any suggestions you have on how to differentiate between those audiences? As you saw in the sort of multi-line SUV slide, there is a bit of overlap, right? So how can you help us identify ways in which we can avoid that? And again, like Julie said, we're really just looking for something creative, outside the box, while being applicable and logical. You can use real media, you can research partners, you can call them, you can email them, you can ask them for their media kits. I mean,
You can go online. I went and looked up Snapchat, so, you know, the social media like Facebook. They all have media kits right online. So you can go online to see what their capabilities are, to see if, like what we were talking about with Snapchat, is there filters that you think would work with your group's concept. This is conceptual. Buick really wants to know your ideas. They want to know if you guys can come up with something creative and different that their team's not going to. Right? That's the benefit that we're offering to Buick. This is a live campaign. It's real. They want to know our thoughts. So be creative. Do your research on each nameplate and on the brand. Go and look up their annual report. See how Buick differentiates themselves from GMC and Cadillac. See how these nameplates, why they shifted away from sedans. You guys should all know that. You live in the Detroit area. We all know nobody drives a sedan anymore. Everybody drives SUVs, right? You know that. You should know that. But look that stuff up. And then look up the vendors. You know, is it Snapchat's going to be the right thing? Is it Facebook for the older targeted car lines?
a 45-year-old person's definitely on Facebook.
Right? And what capabilities that can make it stand out on Facebook? Or is it cookinglight.com you should be at? And what capabilities do they have beyond banners? So that's what we're asking you to do. Does that make sense? Does that sound right?
Yep. And if you guys want to suggest types of websites to partner with. You can make a list of suggested private marketplaces. You could say, you just want to run this audience against Open Exchange. I mean, I think you guys, you have a ton of opportunity here to tell us how you think we should market these